One, two. We you know what? You know when they have those what was that? We're not done yet. We're gonna we're gonna see if this works. We're gonna see if this works right now. Yeah, we got to see because I don't know. My sound just was crazy, and I laid something down, and it was a masterpiece. It was actually a masterpiece. You couldn't get better than that. You couldn't get better with what I just presented. It was extraordinary. I mean, people would have been crying and applauding in their own homes, and all kinds of crazy things would have been happening. And it just didn't go all the way through. So I don't understand. So I'm just gonna let that go. But I don't know how. I'm trying to check it right now. If somebody could give me a heads up, that would be fantastic. But other than that, I'm just gonna go. I'm going in. I'm going in. All right. I don't know. I'm still a little bit. I'm still very, very, very nervous because I just did like a half an hour seconds ago that just did not. It didn't work. It wasn't live. I mean, it was live, but the sound was. It was like robotic and a little bit scary. It was a little bit scary. So I don't know what that was about. It sounds good here, and it sounds really good here. But I appreciate. I had somebody call me on I think it was on a Facebook call, and I've never a Facebook call in my life, and I'm like, why is this person calling me? What's going on, dude? And that my cousin was like trying to tell me all this stuff, and I wasn't getting it. So I'm here. I'm gonna go back at it because I have a commitment to do one of these a day for 90 days. Now, would it be surprising if I told you that today was like day 88 or 89? That of course something like this would happen right now, right? Isn't that how it goes? It's like because every part of me just wanted to be like, forget it. You know what? I did what I said I was gonna do, but I didn't because it didn't go up. So I'm here and I'm doing another one right now. And I'm trying to remember what I said, but I can't. So this is gonna be short. This is gonna be a short one because I was talking about something that happened today. Um, with me as far as dating, with me and dating, I'm not dating today, but I have my partner. I'm always pointing that way because the bedrooms are that way, the front door is that way. And I'm giving you the directions to my house. The front door is this way. The bedroom is so the front door is to the left and the bedroom is to the right, as well as the kitchen, the bathroom, the laundry, and everything else. I could touch everything if I just reached over there. It's like that. Somebody please let me know if my sound is wicked again, because that's not sexy. It's really not. But dealing with parents is something that I'm 46 and I haven't until I met my girlfriend now had to deal with meeting when I say deal with it kind of sounds negative. But it's not negative, but I haven't been skilled in dating a female and meeting the parents, right? I haven't met the parents. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So with this person, I've met her mother, father, like all her, of course her kid, but and everything else, her father, her brother. It's I'm looking to see if somebody's like, dude, your sound is I'm going to guess that my sound is fine, and I'm not going to be self conscious. So the dad kind of gives me like a little bit of hate, and in one of those ways that I don't know if I won't always have a little bit of hate for some guy that or girl, well, whoever she ends up with, a little bit of hate, right? Like, is anybody ever good enough for your children? I don't know, right? I don't have that experience. My mother wasn't like that. My mother wasn't a mother that was really harsh to the females I brought into my home, into my life. She was just like, can I hold something? If she was like, she stuck with the one. She pat your pockets. She might stick you up a little bit, and then she would love you to death. That's just how she would. I'm only serious, right? It's joking, but she extorted them. She really would. If they played the game, then she would extort them up just a little bit. And I put my hands up like, well, I told you just cut to the right. My bedroom's to the right. You don't need to go to the left, but you went there, and now your purse is open. Why is your purse open? Oh, my mom did that. She kind of extorts you. That's what she does. So that was her. But she didn't really give them a hard time. She didn't give me a hard time. She didn't send me out with any type of rules and structures or how to date or anything like that. She was really about be with somebody that you love, be with somebody you have fun with, and be with somebody who likes you the way you are, right? That likes you, that laughs at your jokes, that thinks you're funny, that thinks you're handsome, that will, that likes you. And that's just like basic, really, really good advice. Because I have been in relationships with women who didn't think I was funny and didn't like me. They liked me, but they didn't like me. And it's work. And it doesn't have that part of the relationship doesn't have to be work. But her parents, mother, father, I met them, they okay with me. They're like, you're okay. And it's a little stiff arm, like a little bit of a stiff arm in there. Like not it's not a hard one, but it's definitely like, you ever try to hug a kid and the kid's like, yeah. That's how they are with me a little bit. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm the person you pull in. You love me. I'm a good dude for your kid. For your daughter. I'm not a good dude for your kid. I'm a good dude for my girlfriend who's their kid. You know what I mean? So, but they've been giving me a little bit of stiff arm, and I'm in the fold, but they're just a stiff armish type of a family. So I could take them and leave them, or I could take them and leave them. But I take them. I take them, and because we've been working in a good way, so I introduced the podcast to the mother because we were talking about something, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like something. And she's like, yeah, what this thing that you've been doing, what are you up to? Because she loves the title of me being a professor. It represents something like that. That represents something, and that works. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this podcast. I'm figuring this out right now. I don't know the answers. I don't know where it ends. I know what my commitment is, and I know that I'm just filling it out. I'm doing lives on YouTube, and I also do my podcast, which brings me to this ad right now. My podcast is up. I have 25 episodes of my podcast up. They're up and they're running. It's on Pandora. It got on Pandora yesterday. So I was looking yesterday. I'm gonna cut this up a little bit. And I got an email and it was like Pandora. So the Sam Ayers show is on Pandora. Now this logo up here this one right here, to the right, to my left, doesn't say the Sam Ayers show. It says Sam Ayers. The name of the show is The Sam Ayers Show. And it's on Pandora. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on Spotify. It's on Audible. Everybody's favorite app for your audiobooks. But if you go to the podcast section, you put The Sam Ayers Show, I pop up. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's dope. So it's there. It could be right in your pocket. Listen, I have 25 episodes. Most of this is the podcast, but before I start this or after I end the live, I continue and I go on for about sometimes 20, 30 minutes and talk about some other stuff. So it's nice. It's all right. That everything is all right with me. It's okay. But you should check it out. So that's being said, I told her about it. I told her about the podcast and where she could see it. And so she looked it up and she was listening to some stuff. And then apparently she wanted to do some investigations. So she did some investigations. So she looks on Facebook and it says, I studied at Hunter College. I studied at, City College. It doesn't say I graduated. It says I studied. That was a little point that she wanted to prove. I graduated from both of those schools. I graduated. It's funny. I graduated from Hunter with the help of a person that I got reacquainted with, Dr. Ron. Right, I got acquainted with. He helped me pass the tests you need to pass to get out of undergrad. Like the test that proves you learned something and you deserve to graduate. Yeah, I failed it. It was like the writing. I failed the writing. It was like, what? Well, and it was like, nah, and I think you need a 6, and I kept getting 4. I think you need a 5, and I kept getting a 4. You need at least a 5, and I kept getting 4s. And he helped me. He helped me write. He helped me write. He helped me learn how to write. Nana helped me write. He helped me learn to write. He was like my tutor. He was a tutor that I went to, and he worked with me really hard. And I always joke, when I've joked to him a couple times, like I would still be in Hunter if not for him. And now he's doing well. He's doing some great things right now. I just saw something on Facebook for him. So congratulations to you, brother. You doing your thing. That's dope. What you're up to is dope. And I think he's starting a proofreading company, right? Dr. Words or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't meaning to talk about any of this right now, but I'm just bringing that up right now. So congratulations. So she's checking me out, and she comes back to my girlfriend. She says, "Well, I thought he graduated. I thought he had degrees. I thought he had more than one degree." And I don't know. Do you count every degree? Do you count like an associate, the bachelor's, the thing? I just think when you get one, you kind of trump it, and then you leave the last one. Like, this is what I have. Like, if you have a PhD, do you go back and say, yes, do you have an associate? Of course I do. Do you have a this? Yes, of course. Do you work your way up, or do you just say, I got this? Are you not entertained? So that came up. And that was to me like, what is that? I was like, so what's good with your mom with that? She was like, well, she wants to investigate. And it was kind of cute, but it just was like, is that really necessary? And I was like, I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to change that. I don't study that. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't say he graduated from or she graduated. Not that I know how to do that. Not that I care that Facebook says study. That doesn't matter to me. So, that's the space I was in. So she's checking it out, and that's what came back. And I just was looking like, well, this is what happens with the parents. See, I don't have that. My mom wasn't that mom. And if she did something like that, I could call my mom out and be like, yo, mom, for real? What's all that about? And she would laugh, or she'd be like, what? I was just looking to find out. I thought she was lying. It would be that. It wouldn't have to be. So now I can't blow her up and be like, really though? What, you thought I was lying? What do you think? You found the golden egg? Like, but I couldn't do that because that space is not there, because that's not my mom. That's her mom. And they don't have that kind of relationship to me, which is something I don't understand, because that's the kind of relationship that to me is healthy. Like, Cyan can call me out. Cyan calls me out because I be on some stuff sometimes, and I'll be trying to scoot it by her, and she'll be like, wait, well, Dad, didn't you say that at 7:00, once you finish with that meeting, that you were going to sit down with me and help me with this building of this little box toy we got with the dream catcher? And I'm like, I did say that. She was like, yeah, so what now? Were you tired? You don't want to do it? So were you going to talk to me about not doing it, or were you just going to like go take a shower and get settled in? And like, well, I was going to take my shower, but what time is it right now? And she'll say that, like, what time? I'll be like, well, it's 6:52. She's like, how long is your shower going to be? It's like a half an hour. So you're not going to be finished by 7. And after you take a shower, you're going to want to do the dream catcher, or would you just prefer to do it tomorrow? I'm like, really? She was like, so you would prefer to do it tomorrow, but don't you think that you should have come to me to talk to me about that? Don't you think you should have cleaned that? You should have been the one to come to me to talk. That's who I trained her to be. That's who I have allowed her to be, because if BS is BS, it's BS. Right? So, and I take it how it is. I'll be like, yo, Sai, for real, listen, let me clean this up. Let me take my shower. Let's move it to 9:00. I will help you bring the dream catcher. Let's get it. But you got to train. I have it that I have to train her young. And when I say train, it comes across like you train animals. But that's not, no, you train. I train with a trainer to work out. But when I say that, it sounds to me like something else. So maybe that's just me. But I train her to get her strong at being able to call me out. And if you could call me out, if she could call me out, then she could call anybody out. right? I give her the space to call me out, and I never. What do you call? No, I'm like, yo, all right, yo, let me clean this up. Let me do the thing. We do the dream catch. They don't have that, so it's like you get bullied, then I get bullied because I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole thing. Like I'm with stupid, not calling her stupid, but I'm just saying like the T-shirt. I'm with you, so I get the things that you get. I get the overflow, and I'm uncomfortable with that. So that's just a space that I find myself in at the moment. What I wanted to talk about, right, was step one. And you know, I'm in 12-step programs, plural. I'm in several different ones, right? I'm doing another one because the sound was horrific, which I think you heard it. Yeah, Cyan's looking out like, what? Can I come out now? I've been in many different 12-step programs. The major one that I'm in is for food, addiction for food, which is one of those things that's just like, it's just food. And it is just food. It really is just food. But if you ate the way I ate, then you would understand that. And I don't want anybody to understand that doesn't have to. I'm just telling you, I never push it. I don't push my issue. Like if I had diabetes and I had insulin I need to shoot, I wouldn't be shooting it in front of you. I'd go somewhere discreet, take care of it. You would never know. You know, I would keep my little crackers on the side or whatever it was that I had to do. It wouldn't be your issue. And I could imagine somebody watching this right now. They're like, oh, you make it my issue when you come to my house to eat and I got to have you salads and stuff. But I'm thinking about one cousin in particular that's like, well, we have an agreement. I'm like, don't worry. I'll just take care of the food. I'll take care of my food. She's like, good. Because you can't mix stuff and you can't have this. And then it becomes work. So I'm always like, no. I'll bring my own food. I'll bring it and I'll give it to you. We could put it into something beautiful and then no one will ever know. So, but I'm in 12 steps and I'm in for food. I've been in for alcohol, which wasn't really a thing. That was this kind of that kind of went along with hanging out with certain environments with certain people and smoking weed. It just was like, we're gonna smoke a little bit, we're gonna drink a little bit, and it kind of went to hand in hand. Sex, right? Which is again something that as a man, there's certain liberties that are allowed, and like that way of being like, I get it in, son. You know, like that becomes a thing a little bit where the idea to say I need to go somewhere, I need help around this, to men, which is like my peers, like more of a, get out of here with that, son. You kidding? You need to go to a 12-step about sex. What's wrong with sex? There's nothing wrong with it. But when I found myself in weird situations that I didn't want to be in because of the carrot, right? And the carrot was sex. That's when I knew it was an addiction. Like, oh, you're addicted to sex right now. That's an addiction. And I'm putting up with certain things that I would never put up with anybody else at any other time for anything. But I'm putting up with certain things. And I mean putting up with, because at the end, sex is happening. You know what I mean? So that's when sex was there. But step one is about being powerless and realizing that my life is unmanageable. That's the step one. It's about realizing your powerlessness and that your life is unmanageable. Humbling request. A lot of people don't, that's just more than people want to deal with. Like this, it's not that serious until it's that serious, right? So all of those are handled. So now what's coming up now is money. Not so much for myself, but for my partner is the thing that has us not be like, the ring and down the aisle and moved on and figuring stuff out is money. And it really is money. And talking about the parents have been pushing this whole thing where it's like, when are y'all getting married? And I'm sitting there like, when the money's right, when we get this right, when we get this situation right, because marriages end in divorce a lot. And that's for different reasons. Money is a major reason that marriages end because I don't know why. Because it doesn't make sense. If the money isn't doesn't make sense, then relationships don't make sense. And for me, it, as I spoke about this the other day, we don't have to have it figured out fully. It doesn't need to be. Just need to be working on it. Just need to be working on it. And there's a lack of working. And this has come up a couple times. So the last 2 days, what came up was we started talking about the future, right? Because we could do this, but this is nice. I'm not gonna say this is corny. This is nice, but more would like that idea of like, yo, you are the one, we're together, this is it. So that's just like one thing that I don't know if you check it off, but it's just like, okay, this is done. This is where I am. I don't have to reserve. I don't have to like hold back from being vulnerable. I don't have to hold back because it's not just like, well, this end right now. If it ended, it'll be some tears, but it would definitely be. I got a little bit in the backpack that's like, okay. That I think when I was married, that disappeared, which made it intensified certain things because you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I knew I wasn't going anywhere, and that's what made it rough for me because I respect and honor marriage in a way that I respect dating, but dating is dating, right? And we pretend and we could play house and we could do all the things, but it's still dating, right? At the end of the day, it's still dating, and there's no sense in the lack of money being a thing. And I've heard people say, then forget it, just do it and figure it out. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not, that wouldn't be smart for me. It wouldn't be smart for me to put myself in a situation where, from my vantage point, I can see the blind spot, right? Like I can see the actual blind spot in this situation. I'm behind the relationship and I'm driving and I get to see what the relationship doesn't see. So the relationship wants to make that right turn, but I can clearly see the truck with explosives right in the blind spot. And you're going to veer off and you're going to crash into this whole thing is going to blow up. I see that. And so I can give you a little, like don't make that turn. And that's what I look at with this relationship is just like, well, what we need to work on are the finances. So the conversation we've had is now to go and get this stuff in order. Not completely figured out, but just something that we're going to work on. And we're going to work on it in one of the best places that I know to work on life when there's something unmanageable and there's something I'm powerless with. And that is the 12 steps. So we're looking at DA. Can't really make meetings. You could do them on the phone. And that's something that's going on right now. So that's what I really wanted to share about. But apparently I wanted to talk about moms and dads and things. But that was it. That was it. I'm tired. This is back to back. I don't know what else to say. I want to thank y'all. I pray that my sound was good today on this one. I really do. I appreciate you for hanging out with me. Yes, I am actually looking at my phone right now to see if someone said anything to me, and no one has. And I can actually see it. That is live and it's working. Fantastic. Thank you. I want to thank my cousin who let me know in the beginning of the last one, like, dude, your sound. And my man called me up on a Facebook phone call. That was the first time that ever happened in the middle. I'm like, what is happening? But I got it all figured out right now. The sound sounds like it sounds pretty good. And that's where I'm going right now. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at getting this money thing handled before I move forward in a real way in this relationship. There's nothing stopping it except for the money. And the money is real. The money is a real thing. I don't know if I'm making too much out of that. I wonder sometimes if I'm making too much out of it. And then I think about that whole idea of like Disney love and, whatever that is, like some kind of cartoon where, you just throw it all to the wind and we'll make it work. And I'm too old for that. You know what I'm saying? Midlife crisis for a black man is 35. Midlife, not crisis, midlife. I'm well over that. Now, if this is my midlife and I'm 46, that means that 7, 7, 14. I'm thinking about living to be 93 to 94. Come on. How many 94-year-old black men do you really know? I know some people know some people, but let's be for real. So how do I want to end my last 30, 35 years? Tight? Do I want to have to get a job in my 70s and 80s? Is that what I want? No offense to it. If you have a job in your 70 and 80, why not? But do I want to have to do that? Now, doing it is one thing. If I'm like some old professor chilling out, working at Princeton, if I'm here, you know what I mean? I'm going into the Princeton with my little corduroy, my little corduroy joint with the elbow pads, the suede elbow pads, and my little wool hat, the beard looking like a black Socrates. That's one thing. And it's a choice. Like, you know what? I teach 2 classes about film or about life or about Dave. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. I'll create something, right? The art of like loving your life course. And that would be dope. That would be my choice. I don't want to have to go and do that. I don't want to be like grandpa. I don't want to be grandpa having to work. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I want. That's not what I want to be set up. And I always say something about age and I always get spanked. I always get somebody to come and spank me at the end. Like, you talking about, oh, I'm just speaking about me. I don't want to be 80 years old having to work. That's not what I want. And I have a situation set up right now that I won't, the way it is right now. Now there's greater, there's the possibilities of something way more extraordinary out there is definitely possible. Based on what? Right? Based on what? I'm already looking at the situation that is in now. If I got 4, it turns to 3.5. You know what I mean? It's not crazy. It's not crazy. That's not like a big thing, but it starts to be like, wait, didn't I have 5? Now I only got 4. What happened? Oh, that happened. Okay. What does that look like when, so I already know was there. It's not enough to say, well, I throw my hands up. I don't want to deal with this at all. It's not that. But there's a space that's like, well, how deep am I committed to going in this? And that's the conversation. And it's not like I don't say this. It's the conversation that we're having. And she's been receptive. And she actually came to the table with this as well. Like, well, I know that there's certain things that can't happen until I get these things in order. But she was under the impression that I had it, that she had to have it all figured out. And yesterday, we got it clarified. Like, no, you just need to be working on it. And we need to have a working plan and a budget that we're going to stick to, but like a life budget. Like, you know what? This is where the money, this is what our budget for food is. Because we spend a lot of money on food. I was looking up some stuff on YouTube and some people were like, well, $400 is, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, $400 is a lot of money. And then like a family of 4, I'm like, wait, what are you eating? Like, what are you eating that $400 is a lot of money? I'm like, $800 to $900 easy a month is just what it is. So I was trying to figure it out. And then I was like, oh, wait, y'all eat different. Okay, because I eat certain things and I don't eat other things, But I think that's clear. I eat certain things. My diet is a certain way, but I like, I'm one of those organic people, and I know all the stories of organic is not anything and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I understand that. But that's just the way I eat. And I eat, I don't want GMOs and I don't, all of that, all of the stuff when you got a chicken and it's like, why is this chicken $3 and why is this chicken $9? And you're like, oh, because they don't have this. It's like, if that's not enough to be that different, I'm the one that bought the $9 chicken, right? Because I don't want the hormones. I don't want them to be packed in together. I want them to be, I care if they're free range. I care if they run. I care if they have some space before I eat them, I do care a little bit. I do care. I don't want it to be with the injections. And I think we all know, I don't want to call out brands or anything like that because I don't know what you eat, but I know what I eat and I know what I don't eat. And there's a budget for that, and there's room for all of that, right? Room for all of it. But we need to get on the same. We're on tracks, and we're going in a direction, seemingly the same, but we're on two different trains sometimes. Two different trains. It's like when the trains are, you ever be on a train and the trains are going the same direction. You see somebody you know, you're like, hey, what's going on? We're doing that, and we're doing that for a long, long while, and it's the same speed. But eventually, the trains are going to go in different directions, and I don't want that to be. I personally, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want that to happen, and I'm not willing to be the person to just say, well, forget all my values and forget all my concerns and forget everything that I believe. I'm just going to get on your train. I'm not doing that. I'm too old for that. I did that in my 20s. I did that before. And I'm not just going to say, get on my train. And I'll buy you a ticket. Get on. Come on, get on. Get in this train. Let's go off together. I'm not doing that either. I'm not that. I respect it when people do that. That's fantastic for you. I'm not that either. I want there to be a conversation where we kind of map out, where are we going? We're going here. How are we getting there? This is how we're going to get there. Okay. So, okay, I want to go there too. I like that. How are we getting there? And this is what we're going to do to get there. And for us to decide to get there together. Right? I don't know if you know, like, you probably don't. I was watching this thing with this guy today. He's an ex-football player, Shannon Sharp, and he said something, then I'm going to wrap up. He said he's dating. He's starting to date now. And he said, and he's like, he's this rich person, this athlete. I think he won a Super Bowl. And he has like a sports show. He says, I'm looking for a woman, and I want a partner who has something. She has something going on. And he said, we could need 30 cents. I'll have the quarter, but I need her to have the nickel. Because I don't want to just pay for the whole thing. I have the quarter, and I don't have no complaints about having the quarter. But she got to have the nickel. I know that's not like, oh my God, that's so and amazing, but that was something I sat there and was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. You don't have to. Don't worry. I got the meal. You got to have the tip. And I'm not saying that that's not what we have. Because I will have the meal and she'll have the tip. And then, but paying the tip will impact something else, right? It's in that world. And it's little micro shifts of moving money to pay Paul to pay, and that causes a little bit of a confusion that we don't need, right? That we don't need. So, and I'm not just going to throw my hands up and say, well, you deal with it and I'll deal with this and we'll live together single, because that is corny. So anyway, the 12 steps. Step 1, the powerlessness and the unmanageability of life around money is something that's very present right now. And that's not my experience, that's her experience. And if that's her experience and she's with me or I'm with her, then that's our experience. So, and that's something that we're working on together. And that's just all I wanted to share right now. All right. I hope my sound is good. I think it is. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Love, 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 love your daughters. New Year's is a coming. It's a coming. This year, I'm going to finish editing my book. That's that. Editing my book, and I think I'm gonna take on working out every day. Some form of working out. Some form. I got the mirror. It's dope. I got my bike. It's not a Peloton, but I have my iPad right there, and it has the Peloton app. I'll get that rocking. But editing my book is something that's really important. I think I dropped the ball on that. I know I dropped. I'm not looking. I think I dropped the ball. I know I dropped the ball on that, and I'm putting it out there so I could be called out. So somebody could be like, "Yeah, what's good with that book, son?" Because I will just like shift my life over to something else. Like, oh well, I'm doing this now, and I need to finish that. and just get it done and let it be whatever it is. Because right now it's just taking the hard drive space on my computer. All right, now thank y'all for hanging out with me. Love, love, love your daughters. Love your daughters. And when your daughters start dating, be loving to be loving to their partner. Man, woman, whatever it is. Just easy. Just easy a little bit easy. Check yourself. Just take it down. Take it a little bit. That's up. Turn it down just a little bit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. Anyway, take good care. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. I don't know what just happened. Yes, peace.